Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to talk about what seems to be everybody's favorite new free unit in the game. I got her on my home screen because she's looking real good. We are talking DEAH today, and I'm going to tell you where I think she kind of fits in to the War of the Visions meta, because I do think she has a home in this game as a very useful PvP unit. Yes, she could also be a water elemental slash chainer. That's pretty easy to understand, right? Run her into some fights, build chains, all of that. But in PvP, I actually think she has a very specific job that she does very well, and that's anti-fire evade. Especially if you find yourself in a cost-limited situation, there's still fire evade teams out there. It's one of the more popular teams we see in the game, and she is very well equipped to handle that. How? People might be saying right now, but Orange J, she does not have any guaranteed hit attacks. You're right, she does not have any guaranteed hit attacks, but let me show you what she does have. She has Keyed Magic Craft, which gives her magic and accuracy rate up. She has Sharp Mind, which gives her spirit piercing rate and accuracy up. You can equip her with some gear that gives her accuracy up. You can give her some espers with accuracy nodes. You can run vision cards like this vision card right here that's on the bonus this week that has accuracy up. You want to stack accuracy on this unit. When you're fighting fire evade, a lot of times you're going to run across Yuffie, who can, negate guaranteed hit attacks. It makes somebody like DEAH very good into her because DEAH is an accuracy stacking unit. Now, I have an Alexandrite ring +6 on her. With that Alexandrite ring +6 in this build, if I click remove, you can see it puts her at 129 accuracy. That's a pretty good number, but against these super well geared out, vision card out, espered out fire evade teams, that still might not be enough. So how can you get there? There's two things you can do with DEAH to further buff her accuracy. One of them is run her Ruin Knight subjob because she has access to Wateraga Saber. This move has Fire Killer times 1,000,000 on it. It's like Fire Killer 25, I believe. And the other really important part of this is it lowers evasion rate by 50 before it attempts to do the attack. Essentially, when she casts this attack, the unit you're hitting has 50 less evade, or it's like she has 50 more accuracy. Either way, it's as close to a guaranteed hit kind of thing as you can get. She also pairs very well with units like Asterius with a Strider subjob, who can bring Call of the Wild, an accuracy buff to allies. If you combine this accuracy buff and Wateraga Saber, plus you're building her for accuracy, you're really not going to have too hard of a time fighting fire evade. Now, I'll really quickly just give you a run over for the rest of this comp, like why I'm using it as I look for a fire evade team. Arena just restarted, so I'm not sure I'll be able to find one while I'm talking. I will look for one after this, like here in a minute. We'll put a fight against some fire evade in this video, even if I can't find one right off the top, which it's looking a little tenuous right now. Come on, baby. Odeon Day. Yeah, it's not really one, but we're gonna fight this, and I'll kind of speak on the build. So I already showed you why I'm running Asterius. Another reason to run Asterius is he does have a guaranteed hit move, which while that's not necessarily good against Yuffie, it is good against other evade units. So Asterius is a great unit for both this buff you just saw on the screen and for fighting the other evade units besides Yuffie in this group. I love this Swift and Fortified buff that she does. I think it's one of the better buffs in the game. Her AI really likes to use it, and it's actually a top priority for her AI. So that's something to keep a look at. We'll talk about her AI priorities here in a minute. Okay, Celis. Let me talk to you about why I have Celis in this group as well. Obviously, there's Re-Race Force. Again, her AI will do that second. Love that. I'll come back to that in a minute. Here's the beautiful thing about running Celis in an anti-evade group. Did you see right there how Celis hit Luartha? If Luartha was, say, Yuffie, or say Valentine's Day Yildira in a full evade group, or Pissarro, Celis wouldn't have a chance of hitting him. And I don't want Celis to think she has a chance of hitting him. Instead, I have Celis running her Red Mage subjob with Cura on it. So if she can't hit anything and she has all her buffs turned on, or she's all buffed up, she'll actually sit there and start healing the group, sort of serving as almost a support for the group instead of just a tank. It lets her serve a double purpose. Now, we didn't get to see much of a, oh wait, good. We're going to let DEAH finish this off. DEAH, take Adelard down. Enhancer slash 8,000 damage on a not crit. That's a win. That wasn't exactly the fight we're looking for, but let's go find, I want to talk about a couple more things before this video's over. I want to show you her AI priority, kind of go through her kit and tell you how she prioritizes doing things. And I do want to find a fire evade team. So let's go do that. All right, let's talk about her priority of skills. Now, any unit in the game will prioritize using group buffs over self buffs. Just put that in the bank. You can just, if you can remember that, it will teach you so much about how priority in the game works. Also, when buffing, all units will either prioritize buffing to the higher number or the lower number. Like slot 1 will have a higher priority than slot 3, unless there's somebody with aggro. So like if Celis is walking into the fight with aggro, the units will gravitate towards her to buff. Now, for DEAH specifically, the way her buffs work are like this. She has Swift and Fortified. This is the one I really like. A Magic and Agility buff is super good. Synergizes very well with Celis, who likes both of those stats, and it gives her that physical damage barrier. Now, because this gives a barrier to her, she will not run and buff Celis and then turn around and run and buff Astrius with this as well. She will only cast this one time because she will not look to refresh this barrier unless it gets knocked off or something and she needs to buff again. So she'll only do this once. You saw after that, she used Re-Raise Force in the setup I just have. This is another skill you really want her to get off. It gives her Re-Raise and it gives her area attack resist up while Re-Raise is in effect. That's great. She prioritizes that buff over this one. This one gives her shell and magic attack resist. What I really like about that is I think this is the better buff, but sometimes it's still nice to have a third buff turned on. So because her AI is good, you can leave both of these on and it's no problem. Then in this build with Ruin Knight, Hazard Spell, I turn that off. I never want her hurting herself for a magic buff, especially when she has a magic buff tied to her agility and magic buff. So just turn that one off. And then Drain Evocation, I leave this one on, but it's a minimum damage attack, so the AI won't use this very much. Although if it does use this move, her next slashing attack will obliterate somebody. So that's kind of how her AI priorities work right there. I'm using her TMR weapon, so I'm not actually mixing a TMR into that. I just think this is a pretty good weapon. I like the initial AP up, and then I trust stoned it out. This is something I want to use for maybe some like PvE chaining events, and so I'm just running it in here to see how it does. So that's her AI. Now, let's see it in action against a fire evade team. I do know, before everybody gets in the comments, that there is a level 82 Addison Rae in this group. I know they're running her for the bonus, counting on Yuffie and Pissarro being so OP that they'll dodge everything and win the fight by themselves. Not today, Yuffie and Pissarro. Not today. You got DEAH, the MR Fire Evade Slayer, coming your way. So let's watch how this plays out. Now, first of all, Astrius is going to do his accuracy buff on her. That's fantastic. There comes Celis coming down. Now DEAH is going to do her agility magic buff. She will not do that again because of that shield you just saw her apply. There is the Yuffie, I'll just call her the Yuffie, coming in to do all of her things. There's the second buff from Celis, so Celis is fully buffed up. Astrius, this time we'll do deep fortification. A little HP buff is never a bad thing. There's Re-Raise Force, just like I was talking about. Discontinuum, Celis is going to shrug that off. One nice thing about this group, there's the guaranteed hit nullify, by the way, on Yuffie. One nice thing about this group, when you're running Celis as your tank, you're also going to be very good against fire magic teams, which is another prevalent team in the game right now. And so it's kind of it kind of hits both those things. Okay, Addison Rae is slain. I mean, oh, fanboys everywhere are crying. Yuffie and Pissarro are teeing off on us. We ate their entire combo. No big deal. And oh, the blind landed. So, ooh, and the sleep. Wait a second. That sleep was OP. Apparently, Celis can also do that for your group. There was something that I didn't necessarily count on happening that can slow your DEAH down a little bit. When you're building up accuracy, and that's how you're relying on her beating the enemy, if they land a blind on you, that could be kind of devastating. And in this case, it was. But hey, bad things are going to happen. That's why we have backups in the group like Asterius, or we fought their status effect with our own by having Celis drop asleep on the Yuffie, and then Asterius just said, good night, you're asleep, you can't dodge anything anymore, goodbye. Okay, I want to do just one more fight, just run this video a little bit longer. Here is a fire team. It's a lot of 140s, right? It's a 140 Kefka, Rain, and Rain. 2 Rains and a Kefka, but one of the Rains has a mask on and changed his name. So, it's the other Rain. Here we go. Time to see how we do against this. One thing that will be good here is Celis will kind of cancel out the fire magic teams, but we still do have Hio to deal with, and I just want you guys to see the potential for DEAH's damage. Now, I know, look, let me just talk about some of the real edgy posters that get into YouTube videos. Whenever I do a guide video or I show my team in arena, people are like, yeah, you're a water team fighting fire teams. Show me that same team against lightning and I'll think it's impressive. Look, if that's you, if you're thinking about posting something like that, something's wrong with your brain. Like, you actually have brain problems, because you would not want to take your water team into a lightning team. You should just always choose not to do that. Instead, when you're gauging if a team is good or not, you should see how they do against the thing they're supposed to fight, not against a thing they're never supposed to fight. So that's just something to keep in mind. Just a little something that's floating around in my head. All right, let's see how we do here. We're going to get to see DEAH do a little bit of damage. This Rain is chunked out. We're going to get Extreme Nova from Hio right here. Celis will eat this damage. Celis is pretty good against slashing as well as magic. As you see, she's going to just eat that magic right there. Enhancer slash 8183. Didn't even crit. Even though I'm building DEAH into crit, she didn't crit there. Still did a lot of damage. Burning Drive, she's getting worked over a little bit. Remember, she also still has re-raise going. A weakness of her, definitely, is if somebody's running re-raise removal, that can hurt her. But in this case, the re-raise is going to be clutch, because it brings her back to life just in time for her to take Hio's courage off, and then courage is going to get further taken down by Celis. Now it's Kefka and Hyperdrive. Ooh, Celis out of the ability to... Oh, wait a second. Do you... No! Oh, wait, Asterius has betrayed us. We'll lose this fight. Okay, confusion beat us. Asterius killed my whole team, even though he's on my team. Sometimes bringing Asterius will help you win. Sometimes bringing Asterius will literally kill you. Rest in peace, my team. But I still think this was a pretty good showcase of what DEAH can be. And especially, I think she's particularly going to be good against fire evade teams in a custom-knit situation. I'm going to keep that last fight in there because that was a hilarious way for the fight to end. Status effects OP, guys. Status effects are OP. For everybody who said that Kefka's like not good, Kefka just won that fight with a confusion. All right, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.